as quickly as they can early in the possession. And coming down, trying to create some transition offense.
And Clark has some words for her back.
Caitlin Clark just rocked the WNBA. But it's not her skills that have everyone talking. It's the wild response from DiJonai Carrington that's got fans losing their minds. What could make a pro player lash out at fans like that? The answer might surprise you. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Remember when trash talk was just part of the game? Well, one player's mockery just crossed a line that's got the whole league talking.
To come down and collapse leads to open 3 opportunities.
Bark nudged by Carrington. Healthy competition here between two players that have been really just draped all over each other in the 2 meetings.
What happened on that court that turned a routine foul into a career-defining moment for both players? DiJonai Carrington thought she had Caitlin Clark's number. During a heated matchup, Carrington seized the moment when Clark was fouled, unleashing a mocking display that left fans and players alike shaking their heads. It wasn't just a case of friendly rivalry, this was a full-on attempt to throw Clark off her game.
Position, get her with the hip.
Clark's first trip to the line.
But here's where things get wild. Clark didn't flinch. Instead of crumbling under Carrington's taunts, the rookie phenom locked in. We're talking laser focus, ice in her veins kind of composure. While Carrington was busy playing mind games, Clark was busy playing basketball, and playing it at a level that had everyone in the arena doing double takes. You might be wondering, what exactly did Clark do? Let's break it down. After Carrington's antics, Clark didn't just score, she put on a clinic. We're talking precision passes, clutch three-pointers, and defensive moves that had seasoned pros looking like they were stuck in slow motion. It wasn't just good basketball, it was a masterclass in how to handle pressure and turn it into pure, unadulterated skill.
Made and attempted 89% free throw shooter. And the feet.
Carrington's plan backfired so hard, it practically left skid marks on the court. Every mock, every taunt, every attempt to get under Clark's skin just seemed to fuel her fire. It was like watching a real-life sports movie, where the underdog rises up and silences the critics with nothing but raw talent and determination. And the fans, they couldn't get enough. The energy in the arena shifted from tense to electric. With every play Clark made, the crowd got louder. It wasn't just about watching a game anymore. It was about witnessing the birth of a WNBA legend in real time. But let's talk about the bigger picture for a second. This wasn't just about one player outshining another. What we saw on that court was a changing of the guard. Carrington, representing the established order, tried to put the rookie in her place. But Clark, she didn't just hold her ground, she redefined it. This game became more than a matchup, it turned into a statement. Clark showed that the new generation of WNBA players isn't just here to participate, they're here to dominate. And they're doing it with a level of skill and mental toughness that's raising the bar for the entire league. The aftermath of this showdown left everyone talking. Sports analysts were scrambling to put Clark's performance into context. Fans were replaying highlights, trying to capture the magic of what they just witnessed. And Carrington? Well, she was left to reflect on a hard-learned lesson. Never underestimate a rookie with ice in her veins. What makes this story even more compelling is how it showcases the evolution of the WNBA. We're not just seeing great basketball. We're seeing the kind of rivalries and standout performances that turn casual viewers into die-hard fans. Clark didn't just win a game, she won the respect of an entire league. Just when you thought the drama was over, Carrington decided to take this rivalry into overtime, straight onto social media. But her attempt to clap back at fans backfired so spectacularly, it's got everyone wondering, is this the tweet that could change the face of player-fan relationships in the WNBA? DiJonai Carrington's post-game meltdown wasn't just a rant, it was a digital explosion that rocked the WNBA to its core. After the Indiana Fever's victory, victory. Carrington took to Twitter and dropped a bomb. She called Indiana Fever fans the nastiest in the entire league. Talk about adding fuel to the fire. This wasn't just any tweet, it spread like wildfire, racking up over 900,000 views faster than you can say retweet. Fans weren't just mad, they were outraged. The backlash hit Carrington like a tidal wave, and suddenly, she was the most talked about player in the league for all the wrong reasons. But here's where it gets really interesting. Carrington's tweet didn't just upset fans, it exposed some serious cracks in the WNBA's foundation. We're talking about tensions between the old guard and the new stars that have been simmering under the surface for a while now. Think about it, you've got established players like Carrington who've been holding it down in the league for years. Then along comes a rookie phenom like Caitlin Clark, who's got fans filling seats and TV ratings soaring. It's not hard to see why some players might be feeling a little, let's say, overlooked. But let's break this down a bit more. Carrington's tweet wasn't just about hurt feelings or sour grapes. It was a full-on attack on a fan base that's been ride or die for the WNBA. Indiana Fever fans have shown up, supported their team, and helped grow the league. And now they're being called out as the nastiest fans. That's not just bad PR, it's a slap in the face to the very people who keep the league alive. Now, you might be thinking, maybe Carrington had a point, maybe the fans were out of line, but here's the kicker, nobody else seemed to back up her claims. No other players, no coaches, no league officials. It was just Carrington versus an entire fan base. And in the court of public opinion, that's a losing battle every time. Some folks are saying Carrington's tweet was nothing more than a desperate grab for attention. One critic put it bluntly, you only post something this ignorant about a fan base if your goal is to get a reaction. Ouch. But they might have a point. In a league where star power is everything, even negative attention can keep you in the spotlight. But let's zoom out for a second. This isn't just about one player's social media meltdown. It's about the changing landscape of the WNBA. We're seeing a shift in power dynamics, with rookies like Clark coming in and immediately making waves. It's shaking up the established order, and not everyone's happy about it. This whole saga is shining a light on some big questions the WNBA needs to address. How do you balance respecting veteran players while also hyping up new talent? How do you manage player-fan relationships in the age of social media where one tweet can blow up into a full-scale controversy? These aren't easy questions, but they're ones the league can't afford to ignore. Fans aren't the only ones feeling the heat. Behind closed doors, WNBA executives are facing a challenge that could make or break the league's future. What happens when a single player becomes bigger than the game itself? Caitlin Clark's popularity is forcing some tough questions, and the answers might not be pretty. The WNBA's viewership has always been a roller coaster, but Clark's arrival just turned it into a whole new thrill ride. When she's on the court, ratings soar. When she's not, let's just say it's not pretty. This stark contrast is putting the league in a tight spot. How do you build a sustainable fan base when one player holds so much star power? It's not just about numbers though. Clark's explosive debut is shaking up the WNBA's pecking order. Established stars are suddenly feeling the pressure. Imagine working your way up for years, only to have a rookie come in and steal the spotlight overnight. It's no wonder some players are feeling a little salty. This isn't your average case of rookie jealousy either. There's a whole other layer to this drama that's got people talking in hushed tones. Race, yeah, we're going there. Some folks are suggesting that the tension between Clark and players like Carrington isn't just about skill. It's about skin color. It's a touchy subject, but it's one the WNBA can't afford to ignore. So what's a league to do? The WNBA is at a crossroads. They've got a golden goose in Clark, but they can't put all their eggs in one basket. They need to find a way to spread the love, keep the veterans happy, and still capitalize on Clark's star power. It's like trying to solve a Rubik's Cube while riding a unicycle. Tricky, to say the least. But here's the real kicker, this Clark-Carrington clash. It's not just about two players butting heads. It's a symbol of the bigger issues the WNBA's facing. How do you balance promoting new talent with respecting the old guard? How do you handle racial tensions in a league that prides itself on diversity? And most importantly, how do you turn casual viewers into diehard fans? These aren't easy questions, and there's no magic playbook with all the answers. The WNBA is gonna have to get creative. Maybe it's time for a new marketing strategy, or a shakeup in how they handle player relations. Whatever they do, they better do it fast. Because right now, the league's standing at a fork in the road, and the path they choose could determine the future of women's basketball. One thing's for sure, the WNBA can't go back to business as usual. Clark's arrival has changed the game. Both on and off the court, the league needs to adapt, and fast. They've got a chance to turn this challenge into an opportunity to not just survive, but thrive, to take women's basketball to new heights. But it's going to take more than just hoping for the best. The WNBA needs a game plan. They need to address the racial undertones head on. They need to find a way to showcase all their talent, not just the flavor of the month. And most importantly, they need to remember what made the WNBA great in the first place. The passion, the skill, and the dedication of every single player who steps onto that court.